Hey everyone, Damien Tutovic here from the Entertainment Network once more, bringing you a 1 vs 1 Dawn of War Soulstorm replay, of course, on the Blood River map. So, as you can see, the top player, FZ Swift04, well, a bunch of numbers and letters in his name, but anyway, is playing as the Space Marines, and HG Lehman is playing as the Imperial Guard. So, just having a look at the opening build. So, yeah. I know that H. Lehman is a pretty good player, and yeah, apparently this Swift guy isn't too bad either, so hopefully he'll get a pretty interesting matchup. So yeah, it looks like FZ is actually, or should I say, we'll just call him Swift, actually. So Swift is deciding to go for a relatively standard opening, although from what I can see, okay, it's not too standard. Actually, he's going for a heavy bolter turret on the periphery of his base, while going for a force commander to start off with, and a plasma generator, of course. While Lehman, on the other hand, is going pretty standard. So he's got this command squad out, plasma generator, and of course a couple of pure guardsmen just to round things off as well. So from this point on, yeah, I suppose we could go for things like, you know, extra guardsman squad, or, you know, commissars, that sort of stuff. It's really, when it comes to Imperial Guard, they, well, from what I can see, at least from the good players, they mostly seem to gravitate to just a couple of builds, really, while with other races you can usually do a little bit more differently, that is. Well, what the hell. I suppose the standard opening for Imperial Guard isn't too bad in either case. And yeah, it looks like the command squad is getting a priest and a psych radar on, so pretty standard thus far. Looks like they're deciding to go straight for the heart of the Space Marine player base. And what do you know, the heavy bolter turret is actually acting to ward them off. And Lehman says, well, I'm not entirely sure why though. I mean, it's not like as if, yeah, the other players would be confused too. Because really it's not like as if he accomplished such a great feat by putting down that pretty nicely placed turret, should I say, but what the hell. Anyway, let's have a look what's happening. Oh, what do you know, he actually did go for an early commissar, looking to do a bit of harassment once these scout marines arrive. So he's been left on ranged fire for some reason, not entirely sure why. Actually, then again, he doesn't do too badly in ranged fire. I mean, keep him like that, and he could have killed off his scouts actually before they could have captured that point. So there you go. And what do you know? I've actually got a bit of harassment. My scout marine squad and a force commander. So it looks like they might be able to take out this Tex Priest engine seer. Oh no, pretty good control by Lehman indeed. He managed to put it straight into the listing post as soon as it was completed. So pretty good indeed. He's actually upgrading the listing post as well. He's got full command squad out, and yeah, it's going to be forcing Swift to go out as well. So yeah, Lehman's certainly looking in pretty good shape, to say the least. Doesn't seem to be doing anything too much. I'm just building up listing posts, and we've only got the first Space Marine squad of the match being built as well. So Lehman looks like he's going to be capturing both of these critical locations. He's actually going for the third one as well. So interesting indeed. And yeah, as you can see, this commissar has just done a pretty good job in delaying Swift as well. So yeah, but finally he should be warded off, yeah, with these Space Marines and the combination of them and the Force Commander as well. At the same time though, it looks like we've, yeah, it looks like Lehman's deciding to just use his command squad just to do, well, defensive work really for the time being. Because he could certainly be doing a bit more harassment, although you'd have to be a bit careful though, because that turret does cover quite a bit actually. Now we've got upgrade listing post here, that bit would be covered. You'd have to sneak in through the back here or something like that to avoid taking damage. And of course got a listing post coming up. Pretty well positioned plasma generators right next to it. Should stop too much harassment from occurring there. And what do you know, it might actually have a bit of an engagement happening on the left here. So Swift, he's going to have to try to hold on to, actually no, I guess not, but he should have been trying to hold on to this relic, because as you can see, quite a bit of the map is now being controlled by Lehman. So much more so that he's actually going to get a going to start off the critical locations victory as well. So yeah, Swift is certainly going to have to step up a bit if he's going to have a hope of beating Lehman. Otherwise, the sheer economic might of having all those points under control will just be too much for him to handle, really, for the Space Marine player to handle. And what do you know, he's actually going to tier 2 as well, and looks like Swift is not going to tier 2 at the moment, although he does have the requisition and the power for that, so he certainly would need to be careful there. I mean, unspent resources, well, they're not really going to be doing much. You can't really put them in a savings account or anything and make more requisition from that. So, yeah, a bit of a slip up from Swift. I was kind of hoping for a bit more of a closely matched game, and what you know is actually finally going for tier 2 now. So this listing post, oh that's right, was upgraded before this one, and this one is still, oh this one's upgraded. So for some reason they left this one upgraded. Given that we do have some spare requisition here, she got a bit of an influx of power really, probably certainly really want to trade that in by upgrading his listing post, because upgrading listing post of course would consume some power as well. And what do you know, he's decided to do that at the same time. So Lehman still has the critical locations victory. As you can see, yeah, he's got about 5.5 minutes until he attains that victory. And yeah, Swift unfortunately is being held back for the time being. We'll have to see what he can do. So just using his force commander for just to scout ahead actually, which is kind of funny really. Probably because his all the rest of his scouts except for one scout squad have actually all been killed off. And wow, there's quite a few plasma generators actually being built. It looks like Swift might be going for a bit more of a vehicle-based build, while Lehman, at least for the time being, he's actually got quite a few plasma generators too, but at least for the time being, he's actually creating a tactical control. I don't see a vehicle plant anywhere for him yet, but he certainly would want to put one down, given the amount of plasma generators he has. And yeah, unfortunately, the relic is, yeah, hasn't been captured by the space player, it's getting captured by Lehman now, and yeah, Swift is now just going to get driven back all the way to his side of the river. So yeah, things are certainly not looking too good at all. And what do you know, yeah, he's going for the machine cult as well. Actually, I'll just compare their incomes actually. So 92 and 40 for the space marine player, and 116 and 60 for Lehman. So wow, pretty big disparity to say the least. And yeah, the longer that goes on, the bigger that gap would get between Lehman and Swift. So Swift, though, he is finally sending a scout marine squad just to decap this point while keeping his main army here. And yeah, it looks like he's deciding to upgrade his squads with heavy bolters and a sergeant as well, with plasma pistols being researched as well. So plasma pistols might not be the best thing to use at the moment, or rather might not have been the most cost-effective upgrade, should I say, given that they decided to go for a long-range stance with heavy bolters. That's what the hell still never hurts, especially if Lehman, for example, decides to send his command squad up to the Space Marine army, try to do a bit of melee damage. That's what the... So we've got Rhino transport being built for Swift, so that's an even more interesting move, because the Rhino, when you use a Rhino in conjunction with another squad, usually you'd get that squad to... Actually, never mind, they do have a heavy bolt. Well, in that case they wouldn't really have much of a need for a sergeant in that case, but what the hell? He's actually got the heavy weapons increase. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be going for a bit more of a mechanized infantry approach, and he's getting a second vehicle out, land speeder Tempest. So by the looks of it, he's going to be looking for his mechanized infantry to supply the anti-infantry punch, so to speak, and probably going to upgrade the land speeder Tempest with crack missiles. And looks like he's actually going for a Hellfire Dreadnought as well, so it's very interesting. Look, he'll probably be going to use that as a sort of cheap artillery, really. But what do you know, Lehman will most likely be prepared for that. I mean, he's got a couple of chimeras out, so he's going to have his own mechanized infantry, and he's also got a sentinel depot being constructed as well, so it looks like he'll be training sentinels as well, so going to have a pretty mobile army, say least. And yeah, there you go, the crack missiles has been upgraded for Swift, and finally he's striking out against the economy of Lehman in a rather meaningful way. But Lehman is certainly not standing still, quite the opposite actually, sending out his chimeras. Wow, certainly full of soldiers. It's amazing you can fit that many into what seems to be a pretty small vehicle, but what the hell. And yeah, he's also got his command squad out. What do you know, they've actually casted Curse of the Machine Spirit on the, I think it was cast on the Land Speeder Tempest, but what do you know, that Hellfire Dreadnought is thankfully still alive, although apparently it's still too far away to even use its missile weapon, which is a bit surprising really, because Hellfire Dreadnought, there we go, finally it's using its damn missiles. It's a missile weapon, I think it's got an even longer range than the Space Marine player's rocket launchers, so, and it does pretty good disruption as well, so it's usually preferable to a to a vehicle such as the Whirlwind, for example, but it's unfortunately, yeah, that's the Soulstorm player is going to lose his Rhino, and I don't like the look of his Hellfire Dreadnought. I mean, his missiles are alright against light vehicles, but the problem is these Sentinels, their las cannons are just incredible against vehicles and buildings in general, although they themselves don't have much armor. But two of them, yes, certainly more than a match for the well, Swift says no, lol, no use. But anyway, the Sentinels are certainly more than a match for the single Hellfire Dreadnoughts. And yeah, unfortunately the match was indeed a little bit more one-sided than I thought it'd be. It looked not bad. We actually got some Assault Marines coming out for the Soulstorm player, but unfortunately, yeah, it looks like it's just going to be a little bit too little too late. And at the very least though, we'll have a nice little last stand by the Soulstorm player. And yeah, of course, here comes this command squad in. Just to do some melee disruption. Wouldn't really matter if you lose the some of the team members like what he's losing now, since he can just replenish them relatively quickly. And yeah, I don't know why Swift hasn't GG there. Ah, there you go. Now he's decided to quit. So yeah, certainly interesting game. To be honest, I thought it would be a little bit longer and a little bit less one-sided, because apparently I thought I saw comments about this replay about equal ability use and all that being used by both sides, but yeah, it doesn't seem too much being done by the Space player. But what the hell, it wasn't too shabby, so just could have done a little bit better when it came to using his resources, but what can you do? So yeah, I'll be uploading this video a bit later on, and yeah, until that happens, this has been Damien Tvidovic signing off.